What's a hill that you're willing to die on 1,000% of the time? I'll go first.
That the sequel trilogies aren't good because the writing of the scripts themselves are bad, not because the actors or the backstory for the characters are bad. To expand on that, the backstory for each of the characters, the main characters specifically, keep this in mind, was good. Kylo, he is the grandson of Darth Vader and is idolizing him and finds that the dark side calls to him and he wants to go that direction more than anything, and that he fears his uncle for various reasons. You can work with that. Rey being a scavenger who idolizes the rebellion and the fall of the Empire and hero worships those people who did amazing things before she was born. That is a good way to start a hero character, someone who will be a Jedi eventually. You know, Poe is the rebellion pilot. He is the greatest pilot of his generation, possibly, and is incredibly charismatic and believes what he's doing. To a high level, like, you can work with that. Finn, being a stormtrooper who's fleeing the Empire, or the First Order, and wants to not be there anymore, doesn't want to commit war crimes, doesn't want to do any of that anymore, and eventually becomes a reluctant hero to try and save his fellow stormtroopers. That's an interesting backstory. You can work with that. The problem is none of the scripts for any of those movies worked with that. Seven set it up. Seven's the only movie that, in my opinion, is redeemable out of the three, and the other two just proceeded to ignore everything that had been done prior to that. It's not the fault of the actors, it's not the fault of the directors even, it's the fault of the scriptwriters and the fact that there was no cohesion behind them. They could have been good movies. They really, really could have been good movies. But decisions were made and they weren't. Sorry, if you want to argue with me, go for it. That's where I stand.